dive into today's show. So sharing a bank account with your spouse, that's one thing, but would you ever share a bank account with your friends? This content creator says his wife does do this, and he's not allowed to know anything about it. Take a look.
I know they go for like $1,000 dinners, and they use it to buy birthday presents, no worries. I'm just not allowed to know how much is in there, how often they put into it. I don't know if they own assets. I just know it's for anything the girls want to do, and I can't ask anything about it.
Okay, well, I don't know if that might be changing some people in here. So what do we make of this friends-only bank account? Jess?
I was like you guys, I had to think about it for a moment, take a beat. And you know what? I think I'm into it. Just imagine, let's say you put away $50 every paycheck. So you get 2 paychecks usually a month, that's $100 a month. Let's say there's 6 of you. By the end of the year, you have $7,200. And think about that. That's either some really luxurious meals, or it's like one baller long weekend getaway where you all get a room and a bathroom and you all get to spend time together. I think what it does, or it would do for me, would prioritize the idea of spending time with friends. For better, I love my friends, but for better or worse, they sometimes get left to the side because life happens. Yeah. But if you know you had a bank account, you're like, we gotta use that money up. Where are we going?
I don't know, that just seems like, I hear everything you're saying, and I like the idea of making it a priority to get together with friends, but who's monitoring this? Who's like going in, who's got the bank card?
That's
who's
stress.
like, oh, Sally withdrew this.
No, you do it all on your phone.
Then why do we need a joint bank account at all? What happens if, I'm sorry to say.
I think it's the mental, I love your point, but I think it's the mental idea of this is money that we are setting aside to be together.
Put it in a piggy bank and bury it in the backyard, and at least you know where it is. Bury it in the backyard? What is the banking? What if somebody dies? Like, who owns this?
Well, then
guys.
we get appetizers at the dinner.
Then you use that money to do something special for the friend who's
right,
just
you're on board. Okay.
Right? Yeah. I love this idea for 2 reasons. First of all, whenever we hear a wife having a bank account, it's usually in secret, and her husband knows nothing about it so that she can escape quietly at night. So the fact that her husband knows, kudos to you for the transparency. I love that. But I think this, I'm gonna say this as a person who's not married. A lot of times my girlfriends, they find the love of their life, they get married, which we're very happy, but then they disappear, and we don't see them. So I love that this girl is still prioritizing her friendship with their friends and saying, no, not only are we gonna talk about it on the WhatsApp, we're also going to put money in this account so that we do make sure that we go and we do those things together. You'll still have time with your partner, but I think it prioritizes, because a lot of times we make plans and they don't come to fruition. We're talking. We got to do brunch. Well, when you have my $50 a month, I'm meeting you for brunch.
Yeah.
So I think that's great to galvanize everybody together.
Oh, yeah. I'm on team no bank account with friends. And the reason why is money and friends can get really tricky really fast. And so I'm the person who likes to keep separation of church and state. You know, what's the saying? The best and easiest, fastest way to make an enemy is to go into business with your friends.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, the idea of like, it's the rules. Somebody has to manage it. There's a cost to having a bank account.
I'm sorry,
and
can I
then
just point something
like,
out? If we were gonna do this, who would be the best manager of this group?
obviously me.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. Like, you're right, and I also have 6 million jobs. But I, like, for example, my priority, like, obviously friends are a priority. We do want to see each other more. We do want to get together. But when I talk about money and I think about long-term planning, I hate to say it, I have to prioritize my marriage and my household. I've got mortgage, house, kids' education. You know, money is tight for a lot of people, and so I think there's different ways. What if the things we want to do as friends doesn't involve or have to involve money? So I just think like compound interest is a really strong thing, and I would love to take that money and compound interest it, but to benefit, I hate to say it, my husband, my family, my own retirement. So I think there's a tricky way around here, and for me, friends, absolutely, let's get together. We love you to death, but I don't need another job to manage the bank account. But I love friends.
Okay, well,
I love
we
friends.
didn't sell her, but we know who'd be the manager of the money. Next up, Dolly Parton is 80 years old. Great stuff. People is honoring her life and career with a new special edition. As for Dolly herself, she says there is celebration in the fact that I have done so much in that time and that I'm still doing it. So the question we have for you today is, do you make a point of celebrating milestone birthdays? Okay, half and half. This side yes, this side no. All right, what do you guys do?
I mean, I do not. The last time I had a huge milestone celebration was my 30th, and I did it just down the street at a restaurant that no longer exists. In fact, nothing has moved into that spot. And every time I walk by it, I kind of am like, oh. But I think about it because I tried to do that thing where you combine like childhood friends with university friends and then some new work colleagues, and the whole night I felt so anxious.
Yeah.
It was just this weird collision of worlds. And so since then I was like, you know what? I don't like parties. Like, I think if that's what you love, that's amazing. For me, I like intimate gatherings, and the pressure of doing all one thing one night, it ends up not being fun for me.
What
so
if
no,
we went to
I'm
a
no
sauna?
to that.
What if we went to a sauna for your next milestone?
But even still,
we know you like a sauna.
I did do that. I have done that before, but that would be like a small gathering. I would prefer like a bunch of small gatherings to one big blow up, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, bring on the big milestone birthday. Not a surprise to anybody on this panel. To me, the older I get, the more precious birthdays become. Not only am I watching my parents get older, and every time I watch them, my parents are so healthy and they're thriving, and I think every birthday, aging is a privilege. I say this all the time. And my father has a saying, having a birthday is better than the alternative. That's a great Frankism. And so for me, birthdays, whether it's a milestone, because if you're not that person, I get that the party, like, listen, I'm a party girl. So guess what? I party. It's what I do. But if you're not a party girl and you don't party, that's what, I get it. I don't know anymore the older I get if I'm going to wait for just the milestone. This girl's 48 right now. I know I look younger, but I'm 48 right now. And my girlfriends and I were all within the same 2 or 3 years. And so we were all thinking, okay, what are we doing for our 50th? And we said, you know what? We don't have to wait for 50. So we have a huge trip this summer together, and we're not waiting. And it's to do the anticipatory 50. And for some of us who already turned 50 and some girls who are already 51, we're like, why wait? Life goes by in an instant. Celebrate and live while you're alive.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? That's exactly what I was thinking, because like you, I did the milestone. Mine wasn't at a restaurant. It was on the second floor of a place called the Brass Rail, when there were half-naked men everywhere. And
wait, what?
because
what birthday?
21 years old.
At the strip joint?
Yeah, it was the thing everybody was supposed to. You haven't gone to a strip club, and I was there, and then there's this heavily oiled man wearing cowboy boots and a little Speedo, and I'm in a recliner, and I just started laughing, going, what am I doing here? Why am I here? This is not my idea of a party. So I get what you're saying, but I was also raised in a household where my parents would say, if someone said, oh, how old are you? And they would kind of reply with like, well, 47 next month if God sees fit, which was their way of saying, count every single day and don't count on those days. Don't think you're gonna make it to that milestone. Celebrate every single day. Every time you wake up, it's a celebration. You got another day to get it right. So that's the way I think about it as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Birthday?
Oh
birthday
God,
party?
no, not anymore. When I turned 50, I had booked off 2 weeks in the fall to take a big birthday trip. Just Simon and myself. And I booked this time off in January. I must have had 3 or 4 different iterations of a trip, and I couldn't commit to one. I felt so much pressure to make it perfect. And then 6 weeks out, I realized the pressure was all self-imposed.
Yep.
And so I just did the trip that I really wanted to do and simplified it, and it was the best trip ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
You like the Brass Rail then?
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is do you.
Do you.
Do you.
Do
right?
you. This next story is going to let some of you curmudgeons off the hook. Irritable Male Syndrome. May sound like a joke, but it's a real thing, according to some medical circles. Experts told the Huffington Post that the term refers to a cluster of symptoms that often appear in aging men. We're talking increased irritability, mood swings, and low energy. Those are just some of them. So what do you make of Irritable Male Syndrome?
I love it. Finally, it has a name, because I have been experiencing this. When I was reading this article, I was looking at the symptoms, and I was thinking, oh, the boyfriends' names were popping up. I go, oh, that's that guy, and that's that guy, and that's that guy. What's funny about this list of all of these symptoms these are all the reasons why men historically have prevented women from having certain jobs, because we menstruate, and we're too emotional, and we're unstable. And it's so interesting to see all of these things. It's like, yeah, you guys have the same thing, but we just call it you having a bad day. So now we actually have a name for it. And men, hopefully, they will inform themselves because we already know that you guys aren't going to the doctors normally. So now you have more information about what's happening to you too. It's not just us going through perimenopause who are going through changes. You guys have changes too. And now we're not calling it a bad day, Jim. Now we know. You have IMS, darling.
Well,
You got IMS.
well, what was weird is
Jimmy,
when I
you got IMS, Jimmy.
when I read the symptoms, I'm like, do I have irritable male syndrome too? Because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Because I've had it, but then the subtitle and title of the article really was like a word salad on my brain because it's like they're calling it an actual condition, but there is no clinical diagnosis. And I was like, well, what? And to wrap your head around that, it means that yes, many men experience these symptoms and that matters, but no, there isn't a recognized diagnosis with, sort of determined tests and criteria. And I thought, well, that's kind of ironic. That's kind of like equality right there, because if we know the majority of medical testing over the last 50 years has been done on men. So you would think something like this, every single dollar would have been thrown in it to give it that clinical sort of stamp of approval, but it hasn't been. So I
give it a
find
minute.
Can't we just call it like getting older syndrome, and it's
That's
genderless?
what I thought.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I thought. Because to me, this is nothing new. It used to be called andropause, or it still is called andropause, which was supposedly the kind of equivalent of perimenopause, which obviously there are differences. But those symptoms are very overlapping to many of the things that women go through. And some of it's attributed to declining testosterone or hormone levels. But I think the bigger culprit is just grief. It is that you're grieving. As we get older, it's like, oh, my hair doesn't look the same. My body doesn't look the same. My penis isn't working the same. Not mine, but like
yours is fine.
Yeah, mine's fine. But I think that it's just our bodies changing. Whether you have a male, female, it doesn't matter what kind of body you have. As your body changes, you experience grief, and that grief leads to irritability, mood changes, anxiety, all these different things. So maybe we should just not make it gendered at all and just call it what it is. It is aging grief, and we need to learn to manage it.
I think the only difference for that is if we do put a title on it, which, I don't know where I land on this, but, because you guys know I'm a menopause advocate, and a lot of people who are trying to make equivalencies with menopause, I'm gonna tell everybody, don't do that. Menopause and andropause are not the same thing. If you were born with ovaries, 100% of us are gonna go through menopause. Not all men go through andropause. It's actually a small portion of men. So we can't say we're all gonna go through it. However, we are all gonna get older, God willing, if you're celebrating those milestone birthdays, right? And so I think there is something in midlife that is very unique to all people in the sense that midlife is where, a menopause expert said this to me, the way that you've been living your life catches up to you in midlife. Mentally and physically. And there's so many shifts. Listen, the back nine is ahead of us. Most of your life is behind you. That is sad for all of us, but also there's a mental component to that, and that's what we don't talk about enough with men. They're not going to the doctor enough. However, the only thing I'm going to caution with this is not an excuse for me to continue to take care of you, but rather men, finally for you to get into the driver's seat of taking care of yourself, maybe for the first time. So prioritize your physical and mental health. I don't want to take care of you. I'm going through menopause. I don't want to take care of you, okay?
Okay, moving on to this. You've probably noticed celebrities and influencers posting throwback photos to 2016, right? Have you seen this? It's part of a new social media trend that even Meghan Markle actually took part in. The Duchess posted this pic of her and Harry in Botswana that year in 2016. So did you guys participate in the 2016 throwback?
Yeah,
did you?
we did here. Yes,
Did you? What did you think of this?
Avi, I did. Avi, I did. You know what? At first I was like, oh, 2016 wasn't a big year. It was only when I saw the trend that I went back to my camera roll and I went, oh my God. It was one of the biggest years of my entire life. And that was the part for me that started to get fun. Speaking of Harry, that was the year, whatever, I hosted Invictus Games, whatever.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
And also got to hang with them. And then I met his dad 2 days later. And I was invited to England. I was able to hang out with now King Charles and Camilla. And I started to think that was a big year. And not because this is like a gentle, humble brag, because I've been seeing a lot of influencers do that. This is the age where nostalgia and perspective kick in. This is where you realize that hustle, I was hustling so hard that year. I'm exhausted looking at those photos. And it made me realize that hustle is over for me. I am now not doing things for external accolades. I did the thing. And now I'm doing stuff for me and for my family that brings me true joy. So I think that's what's going back to 20. Yeah, what about you guys? Did everybody do it?
I did it.
Yeah?
Did you do it?
I did it.
Yes, I saw yours.
Yeah,
It was
I
beautiful.
did it. I did it because a girlfriend, actually, I wasn't gonna do it because all these trends, you can't keep up. I wasn't gonna do it, but then my girlfriend tagged me in something, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that was 2016? Because I'm one of those people that I have no concept of when something happened in the past. Like if you say, what, the pandemic, I'll go, yeah, that was 2 years ago. And it's like, no, that was 6 years ago. And I'm like, oh, it was 6 years ago. So for me, this was great to look back. And like you, I didn't realize how many things I'd done. Funny enough, I was working on a Canadian national talk show, just not this one, which is so bizarre. I was like, oh my gosh, that's when I started that show. But more importantly, I had written my first book.
That's big.
That's a big
Right?
deal.
And I remember just being so excited. And but if you ask me before doing this trend, when did your book come out? I'd be like, what, 5 years ago? And it's like, no, it's been 10 years already.
huge.
So I think it's important sometimes to look back, also kind of tap yourself in the back and be like, I've done a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.